planty people, I'm Sam from Sam's Nature Nook, and today I'm going to be repotting my Alocasia portei into a hydroponic setup. So today I came to the unfortunate realization that this Alocasia has spider mites. When I brought it home, I did what I thought was a very good inspection of the leaves and just everywhere to make sure it didn't have spider mites, because I know that's a very common problem with Alocasias and with getting plants from bigger stores. Obviously I missed something, but I've now brought home this spider mite infested plant and it's passed on its friends to some other plants, so we're repotting it today. So with spider mites, although you commonly find the pests on the leaves, particularly the undersides of the leaves, they can also get into the soil and lay eggs. So I'm doing a complete repotting of this plant to make sure I unalive all of those pests. Let's get into it. No, I'm not gonna lie. Mealybugs, I can be okay with. No, I've never had thrips. Not trying to jinx myself. But gosh, spider mites are just the worst. I always get spider mites on, well, when I had calatheas, they were always on my calatheas. They bit the dust. And then my ficus, my rubber fig, for whatever reason, it's just a spider mite magnet. I can't get it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm being very brave and going at this with no gloves. Oh. Honestly, that's a pretty good root system. I don't even want to touch it. I see them on the leaf. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Just gonna, like I said, being so brave right now. And you know, I think what is that? It's corns. Here it comes. There's a corn! Oh my god, I wasn't sure if that was actually one at first, but yeah! It's a little guy. Aw, that's so cute. So corms, if you do not know what they are basically little bulbs for alocasias that new alocasias grow from. So the mother plant reproduces with corms, but before it actually shoots up and makes a new plant, it serves as a rhizome, storing nutrients for the mother plant before, eventually growing into its own plant. No. And the corm will be connected to the mother plant via its root system, but once it's mature enough, it will develop its own root system. And then its own leaves and all that fun stuff. So since I'm transferring this to a hydroponic setup, I'm going to try to remove all of the soil, while still being gentle with the root system, because alocasias are very finicky about disturbing their roots. So after I repot her, she is likely going to have a little bit of a... To be fair, she already has spider mites, so she is going to have a hard time regardless. But alocasias, after you repot them, definitely throw a bit of a tantrum. And I'm in the process of currently transitioning all of my alocasias to hydroponic or semi-hydroponic setups, because I'm a chronic underwaterer. So I have had alocasias. Actually, I've not had an alocasia bite the dust. I just had it go into dormancy and then almost bite the dust because I didn't water it through its dormancy period. But alocasias are water-loving plants. They definitely don't like to fully dry out, and I'm a chronic underwaterer. I like to let plants fully dry out. So this is just a balance that makes my alocasias the happiest. And when I transition them to the setup, they will also lose their soil roots or transition their soil roots to water roots. So that's fun. For transitioning the roots, there's two main methods that you can do. You can either just plop it in the water setup and let the soil roots rot off or transition, or you can go ahead and trim all of the soil roots. So basically trim the roots all the way down to the corm, and it will grow new water roots. I've done both and have had success with both, but I currently have a theory that I've yet to actually test through a good experiment, so don't take my word for it. But I have a theory that leaving the soil roots, as long as you don't let them rot for too long, lets the plant develop its water roots faster. And there's the baby. Separated it out. Fairly developed root system, so that's good. for roots. Though I almost forgot you had spider mites for a sec. And we are back, and the Alocasia portei is free of soil on her roots. She also had a little bit of a root sponge / root plug, so that was a little interesting to try and get out. It's a really like spongy material, and I had to pick at it, but thankfully my nails are growing back, so I could just pick it up with my nails. And I did have a few casualties for roots and not very well developed corms, but happens, I guess. Overall, she did have one corm that actually has a sprout and a leaf, and then a few corms of various degrees of development. So for these corms, I will go ahead and put them in fluval stratum to try and encourage root growth and development. For the mother portei, I will be putting her in a hydroponic setup in this glass container with leca. And for the baby, I will be putting her in her own separate little setup with leca. I'm separating them just in case the mother succumbs to the pests, if I didn't get all of them off, or any other reason. So I'm going to go ahead and pour my pre-prepared leca in here. So now that she's settled in her new home and substrate, I'm going to go ahead and add water with fertilizer. It's important to note that leca, unlike other substrates such as pond or soil, does not contain any nutrients on its own. So you do have to regularly add your own fertilizer and nutrients to keep the plant happy and healthy. Here, I'm just adding Happy Houseplants plant food. I alternate between GT's Foliage Focus fertilizer and Happy Houseplants plant food for my hydroponic and semi-hydroponic plants. Then I will add water here until just the base of the rhizome, which the mother plant is growing out of. There we go. We'll see how she grows. So I did actual leca, lightweight expanded clay aggregate, for the mother plant, but for the baby plant, I'm doing just basic clay balls. They are different in the preparation and firing process. These get heated up to a higher temperature, which causes gas bubbles to form inside of them, making them more porous and airy, whereas this is just colorful clay balls. These still retain moisture quite well. They're just not quite as porous, but they do give structure for the plant, and I definitely believe that they help to facilitate stronger root development than just water alone. So there's the baby. I'm gonna go ahead and add water. And for these guys, gonna put these in and make sure that they are facing the correct way. This one I'm pretty sure I broke earlier. Oh, nope, I didn't. Let's go. This one already has its own roots, but this is the one I broke earlier. Cool. We're done. Okay. And then I will moisten the fluval stratum and put the little humidity dome on it and put these in a nice sunny spot. If you want to learn more about how to treat plants for spider mites, I will link that right over here so you can go check that out. Thank you so much for watching my video on my Alocasia portei repot. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you and have a great day. Now I'm going to go stick these babies in a nice sunny spot.